The ghost ship linked to the most discreet operations of the United States has entered the Iran equation. This Saturday, May 9, 2026, the appearance of the MV Ocean Trader near Diego Garcia raised a serious alert because this type of vessel doesn't usually come into play by chance. In the Caribbean, the Ocean Trader was observed during the American escalation against Maduro amid a rare military buildup in the region. Experts interviewed by Task and Purpose explained that the ship serves as living quarters, a command center, and a base for special forces, keeping a low profile compared to destroyers and amphibious ships. Satellite images cited by open-source intelligence analysts show the ship anchored inside the atoll alongside other American military vessels at a strategic base in the Indian Ocean. I'll tell you all about that in a moment, but right now you'll want to be subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything, to stay well informed with real-time information in the best journalistic quality you've ever seen. With the standard of credibility, Milson Alves. In September 2025, the United States Military Sealift Command confirmed to Task and Purpose that the ship was operating in the Caribbean, but the Special Operations Command did not disclose the mission. That is exactly the hallmark of this vessel. It appears rarely, speaks even less, and usually shows up when Washington wants to keep a tough option on the table without announcing every move to the enemy. What this ship was doing near Iran has not yet been officially confirmed, but the context indicates preparation, pressure, and rapid response capability. The Ocean Trader was seen in Diego Garcia, a base used by the United States to project power in the Indian Ocean, the Middle East, and on routes of great strategic value. The location has a port, an airstrip, and a prime location to support operations in several directions. It's not the Iranian coast, but it's close enough to put special assets on standby with protection and at a safe distance. The message is clear. Trump doesn't rely only on aircraft carriers, destroyers, and fighter jets. He also deployed a silent tool to the theater, made for tough missions. The connection to the nuclear mission arises because the dispute has already moved beyond the maritime blockade and reached the heart of the Iranian program. The proposal discussed by the United States requires Iran not to develop nuclear weapons and to halt uranium enrichment for at least 12 years. At the same time, reports indicate that Washington and Israel continue to treat the removal of enriched uranium from Iran as a top priority. The problem is that Tehran still retains more than 400 kilograms of uranium at a grade close to military use, and part of this material remains in sensitive locations after previous bombings against nuclear facilities. And then the situation becomes serious. If Iran refuses to hand over the material, tries to hide part of the stock, or uses the uranium as a bargaining chip, the Ocean Trader appears as a tool designed to give Trump an option. This means that the United States is preparing a path that goes beyond ordinary diplomacy. The ship can support pilot rescues, surveillance, precision raids, protection of special teams, or actions to recover sensitive materials. The crisis has become urgent. Why? While the ship appeared at Diego Garcia, the clashes in the Gulf continued. According to Reuters, the United States and Iran exchanged fire near the Strait of Hormuz. The United Arab Emirates reported attacks with Iranian missiles and drones. And Washington stated that it struck vessels linked to Iran that were trying to enter an Iranian port. The ship appeared as a sign of military movement, not as a target of attack, nor as the vessel carrying out any officially announced operation. In parallel exchanges in the Gulf, however, Iranian authorities, cited by Reuters, stated that one person died, 10 were injured, and 6 were missing after an American attack on an Iranian commercial vessel. Washington, in turn, presented the action as part of the pressure against ships linked to the Iranian effort. The recent history makes the appearance even more serious. The maritime executive also highlighted that it operates without transmitting a standard civilian signal, with white paint and the appearance of a cargo ship, precisely to blend in with maritime traffic. This characteristic is not just an aesthetic detail, it's part of the vessel's military value, to arrive quietly, get close enough to act, and not give the enemy the full plan. The Ocean Trader was originally a commercial ship, then it was converted into a special support platform and began to serve a role that combines logistics, secrecy, and military presence. Open sources indicate a capacity for a civilian crew of about 50 people and reinforcement of up to 159 special operations military personnel, reaching up to 209 people on board. There are also reports of capacity for helicopters, drones, small boats, workshops, a medical area, and secure communications. This explains why its appearance near Iran causes such a strong reaction. This is not an ordinary patrol ship, but a floating structure prepared for missions where Washington needs to act quickly and say little. The Diego Garcia factor completes the picture. This base is one of the most important American positions. It provides reach across routes in the Middle East, East Africa, South Asia, and areas near the Strait of Malacca. Chatham House recalled that Diego Garcia has already been used to support operations related to Iraq, Iran, and the Horn of Africa, as well as serving as a base for strategic bombers. When a special operations ship appears inside that atoll during the Iranian crisis, the message doesn't need to be spelled out. In its statements, the White House is increasing its military options before receiving the final response from Tehran. History shows that this kind of discreet pressure usually precedes decisive moves. Before the operation against Osama bin Laden in 2011, the United States combined intelligence, secrecy, helicopters, and special forces to strike a sensitive target, without making everything a public announcement first. Before actions against terrorist networks in Yemen and Somalia, Washington also used forward bases, surveillance, and low-profile means to reduce the time between political decision and military execution. The ocean trader is part of that tradition. It exists for those moments when the president wants to keep a surgical option ready. Whether it's to capture a leader, rescue personnel, retrieve sensitive material, or pave the way for an operation that can't rely on long visible movements, examples from other nations reinforce this logic. Israel, when it assessed nuclear threats in the Middle East, didn't wait for its adversary to complete its strategic capability. It attacked the Iraqi Osirak reactor in 1981 and later struck a Syrian facility in 2007, always focusing on preventing the enemy from turning a nuclear program into a political shield. In operations to retake and protect distant territories, it showed that logistics, naval power, and special forces can determine the outcome of crises far from the national territory. France also maintains projection capabilities at overseas bases to act quickly in Africa and the Middle East when its interests are at risk. The difference now is that Trump put American pressure on a regime that still tries to use enriched uranium, maritime routes, and regional threats as protection against a harsher response. The next step depends on the Iranian response. Whether they will accept a real agreement with verifiable suspension of enrichment and a solution for the uranium stockpile. The ocean trader can remain as a pressure tool without triggering a new phase. If the regime tries to buy time, hide material, or keep the Revolutionary Guard, provoking American ships and bases, the presence of this ship near Diego Garcia becomes a much more serious signal. Trump now has diplomacy on the table. Expanding sanctions, ships in the Gulf, fighter jets in operation, and a discreet special forces platform positioned in the theater. It shows that Washington is prepared to treat Iranian uranium not just as a meeting topic, but as the strategic target of a decision that could come at any moment. I'm Milson Alves, an international affairs specialist, and my purpose is to keep you accurately informed every day. The news links. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and at the end, take a look at the comments so you can be even more engaged with the Milson Alves community. See you there.